Welcome to r/Best of Redditor Updates, where OP discovers that her boss has been secretly filming her in the changing room. Our next Reddit post is from r/Advice. I'm a 17-year-old girl, and I've been working at a local grocery store for 2 years. It's a great place to work, and I would really hate to lose my job. This morning, I got a phone call from the police telling me that they've been made aware of an incident at the grocery store that involves me, and they want me to come into the station to discuss what it's about. I told them that I have a shift this morning, and they told me to call in sick and to come to the station. The only thing I can think it's about is that I've been taking old bakery items and produce at the end of the day when I'm closing. This food either gets sent away as a donation or thrown in the trash. I always make sure that I'm not taking from the donation selection. The manager told me that it's okay for me to do this, but I know the owner wouldn't approve. I'm freaking out. Am I going to be charged with stealing? Would I get in this much trouble for taking expired cookies at the end of my shift? I don't even think the owner could prove I've done this. There aren't any cameras at the back room with the garbage. I don't think the managers would tell on me since he tells me and offers me these things. Do I go into the police station? Help! I told the police that I'll see what I can do about work and get back to them. Then, the next day, OP posted an update. The first few commenters were telling me to talk to my parents, which kinda snapped me out of it, and duh, I need to tell my parents. So I did pretty quickly. I don't know what the police told my mom, but she got home faster than she said and took me straight to the police station. My dad was there when we got there. I was freaking out, even though my mom told me that it wasn't about me stealing and not to worry about that. She also called my work and told them I wouldn't be coming in for my shift. So the previous manager was filming employees changing in and using the bathroom. Oh man. An old coworker was tipped off by someone that they found a video of her on some adult website. There were dozens of videos posted of multiple girls over many years using the bathroom and changing in the bathroom. I am one of those girls. The only video I saw of myself, which the police wanted to verify was of me going into the washroom to put my hair up and putting lip gloss on in the mirror. I know there's other videos, but I didn't want to see them. There was a whole team there of mostly female officers, counselors, etc. I was actually pretty impressed by how they presented and handled it all. Because, well, like so many of you, I don't trust cops, and they've never really made me feel safe. The old manager was arrested. I'm not sure when, but it was before they called me. They got my number from one original victim who gave out numbers of all the female employees that she had. It's a whole thing. I was asked many questions. I was also asked to identify 2 unknown victims, like from a screenshot of a video. Seems like these are customers who somehow got access to the employee bathroom because no one can identify them. It's been a lot to process. I always thought that guy was a creep. He's a nephew of the owner. I effing wish this was about stolen pastries. Guys, I'm really not trying to make fun of this situation. This is gonna sound like a joke, but I genuinely don't mean it as a joke. There's a lot of crimes out there where you can understand the appeal of doing the crime. Like if you rob a bank, then you get a lot of money. So if you get away with it, then cool, you've got like $500,000 or whatever. Or, stealing a candy bar, I can understand that because if you get away with it, you get a candy bar. But if you don't get away with it, then, how bad can the crime usually be? But crimes like this, where you film 17-year-old girls in the bathroom, is one of those crimes where I can't even imagine that it's worth the risk. Because people are really out here risking jail time, being branded a sex offender and a P word for the rest of their lives just to get grainy footage of some girl pooping? Why would you want that? It's so easy to point out how disgusting it is. It's really gross to spy on people. This is a crime. It's unethical. This has underage people involved in it. It's like a disgusting crime. I can't understand the logic. This is the epitome of it's not worth it. Damn, down in the comments, Cooper Cup says this. A similar case happened in a hospital I used to work at. A doctor was caught putting a hidden camera in one of the nurse break room restrooms. He got caught because a custodian found the camera when they were cleaning, and you could see him turning the camera on when the footage was reviewed. Dude, Dude, a doctor? You know how much money you have to spend to go to medical school to become a doctor? How many years you have to spend studying? And once you become a doctor, your life is set. You're going to be rolling in money. It's one of the most respected professions in the world. And this guy threw it away for grainy footage of some girl peeing. Well, sounds like the cops are getting ready to nail this criminal's testicles to the wall. Because they know who he is, they apparently have tons of evidence, so hopefully he ends up in jail. Because this guy's been violating women, some of which are kids, violating girls. He belongs in jail. Our next Reddit post is from rSlash relationship advice. I'm a 28-year-old woman, and I found a woman's sock in my house after being away for a week, and my boyfriend, who's 30, lied to me about it. I was away for a week for work. He was off work nearly this entire time, as he works 1 week on, 1 week off. When I came home, my boyfriend had cleaned the house up quite extensively. Obviously not a crime in itself, but it was surprising and a little out of character. I usually have to do most of the cleaning, so it was unexpected. He'd even picked up some of my laundry that I'd left in the washroom and living room and put it in the basket. I was surprised, but I didn't think much of it. He started night shifts the day after I returned, and I was working days, so I came home from work after he'd left. I figured I'd spend some time cleaning the house too. There's a shop vac that had been sitting just outside of our bedroom door for a few weeks that I finally moved to the closet. When I moved it, I found a sock just behind it. A small ankle sock. Obviously a woman's sock, and a brand that I've never seen before. I had a bad feeling by this point, but I put the sock on the table by my bedside and continued cleaning, intending to ask him about it when he returned from work early in the morning. When I asked him whose sock it was, he said he didn't know. He then said he found it on the stairs and thought that it was mine, so he put it there. But I put the sock there. I doubt he'd even seen it around the house, or else it wouldn't have been behind the shop vac. And if he had seen it and thought that it was mine, wouldn't he have put it in the basket with my other clothes that he'd put away? I told him that I put the sock there, and I asked him why he lied about putting it there. He said that he didn't have anyone over and he didn't know whose sock it is. I left and got ready for work, and he went to sleep. Any advice on how to address this? Then, later in the same day, OP posted an update. I'm sitting here in my office area doing some work, but also periodically crying and reading the comments here. He came into the room and tried cuddling me from behind my chair. I was obviously stiff, and he asked me why I was mad at him. I said that I didn't know why he wasn't honest with me earlier about the sock. He said he didn't lie to me. I told him that I put the sock on the table, so he couldn't have put it there. He said that he meant that he found the sock while cleaning and he tossed it aside, which landed behind the shop vac. He then got super mad, saying that I'm always accusing him of cheating, swearing around and saying that he's not coming on our trip to my parents' house during the summer and that he's staying at the house all summer, and that a friend of mine who was supposed to rent the house for work during the summer can't stay here anymore because he's going to be here. I asked him why he was getting so mad and said that I'd been upset and I just needed an explanation and reassurance from him. He continued to lose it. He stormed towards the door and threw his cup full of coffee down the stairs. He grabbed an old baseball bat that we keep by the stairs and started hitting the step outside the door, yelling that he's not effing cheating. He threw his lunch that he'd packed for work all over the steps and then peeled off in his truck. Then, one day later, OP posted an update. We broke up. As a lot of the comments have said, it wasn't really about the sock anymore. Maybe I won't ever know what happened while I was away, but the violence in his response was frightening, and I don't want to be with someone that makes me feel unsafe in my own home. It wasn't the first time I've seen him that angry, but it is the first time he's done something so physical, and I don't want to be involved if it continues to escalate. He's been taking some of his stuff while I've been out of the house. And one of our dogs, which has been probably the most upsetting out of all of this, and I've been changing the lock code after each time. I have some friends that live nearby that I've explained the situation to, and they've assured me that I can contact them if I ever end up in an unsafe situation. Down in the comments, we have this amusing story from What the Fluke. Shortly after I married my ex and we moved into a new home combining households, I was going through some of his boxes as we'd been doing, sorting things, putting things away, etc. I came across several pairs of women's white Hanes briefs, or granny panties. I didn't think much of it. We all have our pasts. I did ask him and tease him about it later, as in, whose were these? An old girlfriend's or your mom's? Haha, totally lighthearted. Tell me why I missed this giant crimson flag when he flipped out, insisted they were his, and then proceeded to drop his pants and drawers and try on these granny panties that were clearly too small for him. I assured him over and over that I wasn't upset. These were obviously old. We both had exes, yada yada. Nope. He would not relent. I should have gotten an annulment right then and there. You know, these stories are awful because they're both about cheating and abusive exes, but what's so funny is how can these cheaters possibly think that these lies are believable? They're the most obvious, yes, I'm actually cheating lies you could possibly make. Oh yeah, I just like to wear women's granny panties. Our next Reddit post comes from rSlash Am I the Butthole? Will I be the butthole for canceling my sister's wedding because it was my wedding first? I was meant to get married on the 1st of February, which was mine and my ex-fiance's anniversary. We ended the engagement shortly after the new year because he cheated on me. The wedding was initially planned with just my money, but it was very low-key, and my parents asked if they could put up some additional money to make the whole thing a bit bigger. By the end, about 60% of the wedding was paid for by me, and 40% of it was my parents' contribution. My ex and I agreed that I'd pay for the wedding while he covered the honeymoon. My ex left me to deal with canceling the wedding as his money wasn't involved, and I turned to my mother and sister for help because I didn't have the mental or emotional capacity to call vendors and venues and whatever else and cancel everything. My sister is engaged and helped me with a lot of the wedding planning. Next thing I know, my mother and sister are asking me if I wouldn't mind my sister just taking my wedding. Every part of it, from the venue to the cake and everything in between. The sole difference would be the wedding dress, and even then she said that if she can't buy off the rack, she might have to get mine tailored to fit her instead. I called off the engagement less than 3 weeks ago. I'm an effing mess. I reached out to my family to help me cancel the wedding, and my sister is planning to take it over instead. My sister called around to our family explaining that she's taking over before she told me this. They're all attending. Her fiance has contacted his family and given them the date that he'll be getting married. I found all this out today. She asked me if I was okay with this, like she hadn't already arranged everything. I told her to go F herself. I have until the 23rd to cancel things and get the money back. There's a couple of things where I won't get the money back at this stage, but over 2/3 of it is still refundable. The money will be refunded to the card that it was paid by, so both me and my parents will get the current amounts back. Everything is shut right now, but everything will be open tomorrow. Since I've been the one in contact with these companies, and it's my name on the contracts, I have full power over this wedding. My sister said that she'll pay me back eventually, but knowing her, I'll never see that money again. Will I be the butthole if I canceled everything? Then, 2 days later, OP posted an update. I talked to my sister and explained how upset I was and how hurt this made me feel, and she said that this was a good thing and it'd be therapeutic for me to see good come from bad. I said that this is really not what it's feeling like on my end, and to me, it feels like I got cheated on a month before my wedding, and then my sister said that she would cancel everything for me, and then decided that getting married in my dress, in my venue that my ex and I picked out together on my anniversary date did not feel good. I said that if she wanted to buy the wedding off of me, then I needed payment in full for my 60% of the money by the 23rd, and I wanted to switch our names out of the contracts. She said that she was hoping for something more like a payment plan where she paid me back half of the money that I put down in monthly installments over the next 10 months. She wanted to pay me back 5% per month for 10 months, and I still wouldn't get all my money back. I made calls and canceled everything. On the whole, I've gotten a little over half back, which isn't as much as I thought. The really annoying thing is that I put these cancellations through on the 21st, and if I had done it on the 18th, which was 2 full weeks notice, then I would have gotten more. But they waited until the 20th to tell me. The dates are now open, the plans are now there. If she wants to rebook everything in her name, she's welcome to. She's helped me with a ton of planning, and she knows the details better than I do. And she can easily rebook the exact same thing, and will probably be doing the vendors a favor considering how close we are to the big day. Some refunds will be instant, some will take a bit of time, like 2 weeks. And I'm no longer going on my honeymoon, so once all the refunds have come through, I might book a week away somewhere. I'm not sure what's happening with my sister and mother and my family at large. In total, I would have gotten more back from my sister than I would have from the venues, but it would be a year wait on her repaying me versus just a few weeks on the venues. I'm currently drafting a Facebook post to tell the family what happened without me looking like a total B-word. I have a feeling they've already guessed what went on, but there's only one way to make sure. In the sister's defense, I could kind of understand the logic behind it all because it's like, well, the money's already spent and everyone's already planning on coming anyways, so you may as well make the most of it. However, I'm really close to my brother and I can't imagine getting married and then seeing my brother there knowing that I basically took all this from him and that everything around him is a reminder of the wedding that he doesn't have. And just that knowledge of how bad he would feel would ruin my experience of the wedding. So it's really hard for me to put myself in the sister's shoes in this situation and empathize with her because what she's doing is really cruel to OP. That was r/Best of Redditor updates. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.